I have a firm belief that everybody is a homeowner. Today, then it's tomorrow, and we're not going anywhere. So, hey, what do we have to do to present your game plan?
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Happy market moment. I was going to say super excited. I say super excited every week. That's just like, I guess, my tagline. But I am jazzed to be on this week's call. We have some really cool stuff to talk about. This is Estrella Gallegos with eXp Realty. And Scott, do you want to introduce yourself?
Scott Loefert with Synergy One Lending. I like jazz.
Yeah.
You are always super excited because you're a positive, optimistic person, but jazz is kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, maybe I'll have jazz fingers too. Like that SNL skit. Yeah. So let's hop in, just talk about some quick and dirty numbers. We are seeing some seasonal slowdown, very, very typical for December in terms of new listings that came to the market in the past 7 days. As a reminder, when I present these numbers, it is going to be the Denver metro area. It goes all the way up to Fort Lupton and can go all the way to the north end of Colorado Springs. For the past 7 days, we have had 438 new listings, a sharp decrease compared to last week, but that's okay because a lot of people are not interested in putting their house on the market right before Christmas. A lot of people want to be able to celebrate the holidays in their home. They don't want to worry about getting it ready to be listed. They don't want to do showings while they have their Christmas tree up and all of that kind of stuff. So pretty normal, very sharp decrease. I expect January we'll see a sharp increase as people start to step back into the market. We saw 665 price reductions, pretty consistent week over week, not a lot of big up or down swings. We are probably going to see a little bit of a slowdown because you really don't want to reduce your price around the holidays because, again, this is that time where there's not a lot of house shopping going around. However, if you are a buyer, it is the perfect time to do some house shopping because there are deals to be had. People that have had their house on the market, they want to offload their property. If you can do a quicker close, even better. So there's a lot of opportunity there. The average closed price has gone up to $642,991. And we are closing at 95% closed to original list. Pretty consistent, not a lot of change there. So we're seeing about a 5% price decrease from original list to close overall. And the average days on market is 41 days for those closed properties. I wanted to look at what was happening in the market with that average days in the market for active. So a lot of times when real estate agents, they talk, or just in the market, when they talk about average days in the MLS, they're looking at closed listings. What was interesting when I looked at those numbers for Denver Metro, for just all of the active properties that are currently in the MLS, on average, how many days have they been sitting in the market? 3 months is what we're seeing right now. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to assume when I see that number compared to the average days in the MLS closed of 41. People are either overpricing their homes or they're not showing well. So those are the two big things why something would sit on the market. I think the biggest thing or one of the things that I always tell all of my sellers, when we go to the market, I'm going to do a lot of work to list your property. I give them a 3-page checklist to help people get ready for photography. I give them another 2-page checklist to make sure that they're ready for their showings. And I don't photograph until we're ready because we want to make sure that we show well online. Because it's not like how it was back in the day. People shop first with their eyes online. If you have your house listed and you have great photos and you're priced well, you should get showings. If you are not getting showings, there's one of two things that are not happening. It's either not showing well online or your price is too high, because those two things are going to limit people from coming to your house. We're going to take out all of the seasonality of the interest rates or whatever. You have to price your home for where the market is at that time. So You could have a beautifully staged and photographed house, but if you are not priced well, you get no showings. It's the pricing. You have to make that adjustment. So when we see those houses that are sitting on for those 3-month periods, as a seller, as a real estate agent, if you're a real estate agent listening to this as well, you have to ask yourself, is it the photos or the price? Those are the only two things. If you're not getting showings, there's no other reason, unless of course you have the Bandimere Speedway in your backyard or the dump like right in front of you. Outside of those two like abnormal type of situations, and again, even those things, if you're priced well, you're still going to get the right buyer. So it's just one of those things to really think about. There's those two things. If you're not getting showings, you have to ask yourself. There is some softening in the market for sure, but it's seasonal softening. So we'll see what happens in January. I think that's when we'll really start to dig in, like, what is this year going to look like? We had 3 weeks in a row, Scott, where we had interest rate decreases.
Yeah, and in our market, we've had better positive days than negative days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is good. So I think, again, if you're a buyer, it's a really good time because the interest rates are lower than they were even 4 or 5 weeks ago. And there are a lot of sellers that have been sitting on the market for 3 months or more, and they're going to offer, you have the opportunity to offer and get credits and all of those good things. So yep. Really cool stuff, exciting. You just got to work with what you got in terms of market and seasonality.
But yeah, in regards to just our market and rates, we've had more better days than bad days. Fed's announced that they're probably going to raise rates again one more time this year. And Fed's raising rates doesn't directly correlate to mortgage rates, but they've been kind of going a little bit hand in hand, obviously, as time has gone on this year. And so we might see a little bit of a course correct and some more movement and volatility as we exit 22 and enter 23. But there's a big gap between where the 10-year treasury note is and where interest rates are. And typically there's not that type of gap. And so we still have optimism for 23 that, right, we're going to start to get inflation under control, start to suppress those interest rates back down into the 5s at some point in time. So we'll just have to keep you guys updated on what happens as weeks go on.